Attention! Sorry I'm talking a little loud because I want to reach people with a hearing problem. Do you want to hear better for just $299? Yes, not thousands, but for $299. You can hear all the sounds you've been missing for years. Hearing Help Express has been helping people hear better, selling top-quality hearing aids for over 30 years. Now is your best chance to hear better with hearing aids for $299 with our free 45-day home trial offer. And you don't even need to leave your home or get a hearing test. Call now to start your free 45-day risk-free home trial offer. All it takes is a free hearing consultation. Learn how Hearing Help Express can improve the quality of your life with better hearing. Call now.
800-516-7448. 800-516-7448. 800-516-7448. That's 800-516-7448.
The following is a live copyrighted presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for RadioLawTalk.com with your host, Frederick Penny, attorney at law. And now, RadioLawTalk.com.
We're back to hour number 3. Radio Law Talk. I'm your host, Fred Penny. I think we're all in a daze after hour 2, the ending, when Denise just trumped the whole 2 hours with a comment that you're just going to have to go back and listen to the podcast later. But we're having a good time here at Radio Law Talk. We're going to talk about Harvey Weinstein. We're going to talk about duck boats. We're going to talk about Harvard being sued because Rodriguez isn't here. We have case or no case coming up. If you want to call us at 855-LAW-RADIO or tweet us at Radio Law Talk. If during the time period you want to play case or no case, you can go to hashtag Radio Law Talk and tweet your answer, or you can just tweet us at Radio Law Talk. Because case or no case, I got skunked the first time, and it looks like Todd and Denise scored. Those of you who are new, because this is the Armed Forces Radio Network, we welcome you. Thank you for your service. And Radio Law Talk, case or no case, is where Cal Hunter, our illustrious 3-time Emmy Award nominee but never a winner producer, lays out a case scenario for us. We have to say, number one, did he trick us and it's not a case, or is it a case? And the second thing we have to answer is whether or not what the verdict was, whether or not there was a win on the plaintiffs or the defense, and we get points according to that. It's the first one to 100 points receives the most famous lemon bars in the world made by Donna Hunter, Cal's illustrious, beautiful, smart, intelligent, much stooped down to marry Cal.
Better half. The better half.
She is all of those things, and what Fred said as far as her totally lowering herself to my level to marry is completely true.
And she makes the best strawberry freezer jam.
Yeah.
Oh
Everything
Yum.
she brings, if she brings something in, it's just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So her lemon bars are famous. She has not given them to us on purpose because the winner of 100 points gets lemon bars.
And right now, Todd Cunin is very much in the lead with 62 points. Chris Rodriguez, who's rarely here, has 29 points, and I'm thinking of deducting a point for every day that he's not here.
I have him at 31 points.
No, I have him at 29. We can figure that out.
Would that be similar to the banks that take money out of your account because you don't have enough money in your account?
It's a service charge.
Yeah,
it's a service charge.
Yes.
That's what it is. The point service charge. The lovely Ms. Dirks has 54 points after winning the last
winner,
along with Todd. And Mr. Penny, the kingpin of the show, has 53. So Todd's in the lead. Fred's in second. Denise is in third. But I'm sorry,
second.
Denise is in second, and Fred now just moved to third.
Ouch.
Oh, man.
Ouch. Let's
Yikes.
roll it. Let's play it.
Don't miss any Saturdays.
Let's play this game.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Now it's time to play Case or No Case.
All right, I'm going to take you to the great state of Massachusetts, where a grisly murder has taken place. And police go in, they investigate the crime scene where 2 people were murdered. And Todd's never prosecuted a murder before. So how many murders have you prosecuted, would you guess, Todd?
I think 2.
Okay, 2. So they can be gruesome. And the
Yes.
crime scene photographs are gnarly and everything. It's gross. So police go in, they do all together, all this evidence, and they take they go and they present everything, and the prosecution says, I have a problem with your forensic evidence. I don't think it's reliable enough. Therefore, I'm not going to use it. And so I ask you, friends, start with you in this case, Mr. Cunin, case or no case?
Case or no case, and the scenario is that the prosecutor has declined to use the evidence from the forensic examiner. Is that correct? Is that what we've got here?
Well, he's on the line. He's on the line with
All right,
caller.
so-
Hold on a second. Go ahead and ask your question
So-
again, Todd. I've got a caller here who wants to ask a question, but I'm going to ask you to hold on, caller, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, go ahead.
So the case here is that there's a murder, it's a grisly murder, and the prosecutor is declining to use the evidence from the forensic analyst.
Correct. The forensic guy says, got him cold. It's right here on the murder weapon. We've got him cold. What do you think? And the prosecutor says, I don't like that kind of forensic evidence. I just don't think it's reliable enough. I'm not going to use it.
Okay. So, and the question, I guess the thing that I need clarification is the question that because the prosecutor, if that's true and the prosecutor says that, then no case ever was filed, or they proceeded with prosecution using other evidence?
Well, according to the scenario I'm giving you, the case was filed and they proceeded forward using other evidence.
Okay. So I'm going to say this is a case.
Okay.
And I am also going to say that I can see a prosecutor not relying on the forensic team brought forward, but still deciding that they can go forward with other evidence. I would point, for example, to the O.J. Simpson case. I think that they could have prosecuted that case and not even tried to use DNA evidence. I think that they could have, how did they prosecute things before DNA? It's the choice the prosecutor could have made. They didn't make it in the O.J. case. They did something else, but I could see in Massachusetts them deciding to go elsewhere.
So do you have to decide the outcome too?
So
Yep.
Okay.
whether or not they got a conviction?
Yep.
Okay. So I am going to say that, yes, it's a case, and I'll go out on a limb, what the heck, and say that the prosecutor got a conviction without the forensic evidence, because that's what makes this interesting.
Okay. It is an interesting thing. Mr. Penny, what do you think?
Ditto. Go ahead.
Oh, that was
That
easy.
easy?
Yeah, it's a criminal case. I don't want to opine. I'm just going to follow Todd.
Oh, now come
Ditto.
on.
Uh-oh.
No, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Have you
Sounds
ever
good to me.
used forensic evidence in a personal injury case?
Oh, yes.
We do, but I'm trying to think of the last forensic evidence we used, and I don't.
I mean, I'm talking about blood or fingerprints or
We-
DNA or who knows what.
Not as much as you think we do. Not
Okay.
as much as you think we do. But ditto.
'Cause
Next.
I know prosecutors love DNA evidence and juries love DNA evidence if you've got so Denise, what do you think? Case or no case?
I'm going for points. That's all I care about.
I know. Strategy-wise, if I say no case, I might be the one to win. But if I say no case, you two go above me. So, well, you're already there. Massachusetts murder. 2 people, crime scene, gross. Police evidence. Oh, he didn't want to show and shock the jury. Case. And he
Okay.
wins.
Case and
Case and the prosecution wins.
case and the prosecution. So all 3 of you say case.
I can't catch up.
And all 3 of you say prosecution wins. So in a strategic move, nice move, Denise. In a strategic move.
Can I change my answer?
Denise, yes, you can. You may
No,
change your
I'm
answer.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, Denise, in a strategic move, says there's no way. But I would like, before we have just a couple of minutes here, and then I want to get to the callers, see if we can get them on. But I'm curious, Todd, under what circumstances would a prosecutor say this type of forensic evidence just isn't reliable enough? What kind would that be?
Well, it's not limited to just the forensic. The prosecutor is faced with evidence a lot from law enforcement witnesses. I remember working on a case once as a law clerk while sitting in there, and we were watching video of an interrogation, and all the cops were sitting there saying, "Oh, yeah, he's guilty. I can tell by the look on his face."
Yeah.
And they wanted us to prosecute, and as a prosecutor, we're sitting here going, I need more than guilty based upon the look on his face. I need actual evidence to present to the jury. And if the forensic analyst was maybe using something that was cutting edge and might be more confusing, and you don't get the bang for your buck, I could see them saying, look, this is not the case where we want to trot this new type out, because there's this thing called Kelly-Frye, which is the analysis where you have to prove to the court that this new scientific principle is reliable, and it might not have been worth it if the forensic analyst was basing its opinion on some new cutting-edge science that hadn't been tested in court yet.
Or if the forensic had an issue. Maybe the forensic got in trouble for, using something like that before, and he just wasn't going to be reliable himself.
Call us at 855-LAW-RADIO or tweet us your answer of case or no case. We'll be right back.
All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk is strictly for the state or states in which the advertiser is licensed. For more information, go to radiolawtalk.com.
My name is Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I've assembled an excellent team of highly experienced personal injury trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. At Penny & Associates, we will aggressively represent you and your family when someone has been injured in an accident. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
For a free initial consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or call 1-800-616-4LAW and ask for Frederick, Stuart, Rob, Kevin, Kent, or Will. That's Frederick Penny at Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers, 1-800-616-4LAW.
This is Denise Dirks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at pennyandassociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
The cost of getting rid of garbage is high, and recycling products is lucrative. If you're a business or know of a business that needs an individual compactor or baler, call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. If you already have an industrial compactor, baler, or shredder and need service, don't forget to call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. Northwest Compacting, your full-service industrial compacting and baling company. Read more about them at northwestcompacting.com.
Life is full of bittersweet transitions. It's difficult to know how these changes will impact us over time. For some people, difficult transitions like retirement, divorce, or loss of a loved one can hit harder than expected and may contribute to feelings of hopelessness or even thoughts of suicide. The risk of suicide is even higher for men over 50 who served our country. Guys like me. That's why support from friends and family makes such a big difference. Every day, your actions could help save a life. Together, we got this. Learn how you can help save a life at veteranscrisisline.net.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to RadioLawTalk.com. And now back to your host, Frederick Penny.
We're just finishing up Case or No Case. We'll do it quickly because we have a caller holding that wants to talk about the Manafort trial, which we always welcome a call, even to talk about stuff we've talked about the hour before. Again, as Cal and I were talking, man alive, I could talk about the Manafort case for 3 hours, but it does get boring for some people. But let's finish Case or No Case.
Totally fascinating. So the Case or No Case premise is very simple. There's a grisly double homicide in the great state of Massachusetts. Authorities say, we've got her nailed. We've got this great forensics evidence. And the police rather say, we've got her nailed. We have this great forensics evidence. And the prosecutor says, I'm not convinced of the reliability of that evidence. I'm not using it. I'll go to trial, but I'm not going to use that particular form of evidence because it's not known as being super reliable. All of you said it was a case. How many of you said there was a conviction? All of you said it was a conviction. So I guess we'll go ahead and get into this. So those of you who say it was a case, that's all three of you, and I say... All right. Now, for those of you who say it was a conviction, let's see. May I see by a show of hands? All three of you.
Whoa! I almost changed that.
Now, an astute law student like all of you, or a student of history like all of you, would have recognized the bare bones, no pun intended, of this case as the Lizzie Borden axe murderer case, and that's what I'm talking about. She was acquitted because the police department had fingerprints, thumbprints on the actual axe with which the parents were killed, and the prosecutor said, fingerprints just aren't that reliable, I'm not going to use it. And so she lived until the mid-1900s, and actually at the age of 66 was buried next to the parents she allegedly murdered, but was never, all we know about her was the poem, Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 20 whacks, and then to be sure the job was done, she gave her father 21.
I think it's 40 and then
40
41.
and 41, yes, 40. I was
yeah.
trying to narrow it down, but they had blood evidence. They had witnesses seeing her burn the dress that she was allegedly wearing, but because she was a nice-looking, Christian-looking woman, to quote the juror in the case.
Didn't she look like that lady in Bewitched?
Yeah, Elizabeth.
I heard a slightly different poem.
There
once was an axe murderer from Nantucket.
Yes, I know.
But we won't go anymore.
Something to do with a bucket.
Yes.
And, All right. So Joe is on the telephone. He's been waiting patiently, and I guess we can go to him.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Thanks for joining us. What questions do you have?
Joe.
Taking my call. How's everybody doing today?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Okay, so it's a fairly simple question, although I'd like to hear all of your opinions. Realistically, in this first trial, what can we expect as an outcome? I heard what you guys said as far as, the jury could go, one or two, maybe even as many as 6 in a different direction. So I'm wanting to know what's realistic in this case, because I know you guys have said that, only 3 over the complete time that this has happened, that the outcome has been a guilty.
Yeah, Joe, just so you know, don't forget, we're talking two cases. We got the Virginia case that's going on right now about the tax fraud and the bank fraud, and then you got the Washington, D.C. case that's still up and coming against Manafort that is basically for failing to register as an agent.
As a foreign agent.
Foreign agent. That one is very rare, and that, again, what's interesting, that is an Obama appointed judge, where on the other side, Virginia, we've got kind of a more conservative judge that is appointed by Reagan. So,
But judges are not supposed to be political, guys.
Hey, can we have crickets right there? Can you hit the crickets?
Yeah, they're not supposed to be.
Judges are not supposed to be political.
You know what, Joe? I just hearing a few of the witnesses' testimony, I'm probably going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that he is going to be found guilty of something. More likely bank fraud. I'm not sure about tax evasion, but I think maybe bank fraud, just because the testimony is that he falsified documents and he did it, not his accountant. That the accountant prepared them and then they changed dramatically after they were given to Manafort and then presented to the bank. I'm going to say just that evidence alone, I think he might be found guilty.
I'm going to say...
I don't think he's going to go away for his life, though. I don't believe that.
Yeah, but I'm going to say that there's going to be some real... I think there's going to be one person on that jury that is going to see this as a political issue and is just doesn't care and is not going to convict. Now, I don't know that's going to happen. I can see that happening, but I can see them going, this is about politics. This is not about, what the facts are. I don't care what the facts are. There's always that juror. We've all had those jurors that's like, where did that juror come from? And I think that, Joe, that might be an issue there. And we have a Rule 29, as we said, that the judge can throw it out too. If it's up to the judge can throw it out, right, Todd?
He can. And, just to round out the prognostication from all of us, I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Manafort's going to get an acquittal on both cases.
Oh. Joe, very briefly, Joe, you've got about 15 seconds. Tell us what you think the outcome's going to be.
Well, I mean, if it falls into what we've been seeing with, with everything else that's going on politically, I mean, with Strzok and Page and the rest of them, I mean, it doesn't look good. And, I'm hoping that, something on the other end, comes out that's going to be more in his favor, only because of, everything is so political. But, if he did commit some crimes, doesn't mean that possibly down the road somebody might want to pardon the guy.
Right.
That's
a good. Hey, that's a great comment, Joe. Smarter than the lawyers.
Joe, thanks. We appreciate your call. Do it again sometime.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
That is such a good point, because right now they're trying to get him to turn on Donald Trump, who's the president. And if he gets a conviction, there is nothing keeping Trump from pardoning Manafort, because these are federal cases. A president can't pardon somebody for a state court conviction, but on a federal case?
Hey, all I got to say is we're three bright lawyers. We think we are. Joe, you're smarter than the three of us. You just mentioned probably what might happen.
A pardon.
Maybe gets convicted, then a pardon. Nailed it, Joe. Thanks for calling in. I'm Fred Penny, your host of Radio Law Talk. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. There's a lot more Radio Law Talk coming up. All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk is strictly for the state or states in which the advertiser is licensed. For more information, go to radiolawtalk.com.
Jason Rosbach here with Fred Penny, managing attorney from Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Now, Fred, what type of cases are you dealing with now, and what sets you apart?
Jason, we help people with all types of personal injury cases. We're former insurance company trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or give them a call, 1-800-616-4LAW. That's PENNEY lawyers.com.
This is Denise Sturks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help.
Business needs growth to survive, and Accelerate U is in the business of growing your business. Accelerate U gets it. They have sales professionals, real top talent teams. Accelerate U has venture capitalists, and Accelerate U has strategic partners who roll up their sleeves and help you grow your business. It's what they do. They help people in business just like you. In fact, last year, Accelerate U launched 30 successful go-to markets for startup companies. With success like that, you can see why Accelerate U is able to only work with a select group of companies, perhaps yours. If you want to increase revenue for your business, call 916-BETTER-0. That's 916-237-7370. 916-BETTER-0. Come on, grab the phone. Make the call. Accelerate You. 916-BETTER-0. Again, call 916-BETTER-0 for Accelerate.
With a recession ending, if you've been putting off building your business, now is the time to act. General Steel will meet or beat any price on a pre-engineered steel building of the same size and specifications. Act now before steel prices go up. So call us today for free information.
Call 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290.
The following update is for drivers who pay too much for car insurance due to DUIs, DWIs, tickets, or anything else. Our company specializes in low-cost SR22 auto insurance. We know that mistakes happen and offer free quotes for very affordable auto insurance meant specifically for you, the overpaying high-risk driver. The quote is free, and we'll handle the filing so you can start saving money. Call 800-758-0725. 800-758-0725. 800-758-0725.
Right. Well, I don't know. I know there's a manufacturer that is starting to. I don't know if they're manufacturing them completely or they're modified. I know there are most of them are modified. I don't know if someone's doing one on their own.
So a duck boat is a boat that lies pretty low in the water.
Right.
And these particular duck boats have like a shade cover over the top of it, and people can see out through just a small little tiny area. And it lies really close to the water. We're talking almost at the water edge.
Right, that's exactly right. And in Missouri, Branson, Missouri, there's a duck boat company that apparently it was bad weather, and they're claiming, the plaintiffs are claiming that they knew about it, and they went out anyway, and it sunk, and a number of people, 17 people died. Apparently, they're saying the top is very, very difficult to get out of. It makes it so it's hard to get out of it, and then people drown. And so right now there's an investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board is underway. The families of two families are seeking a $100 million lawsuit against Ride the Ducks, Branson, and the issue is going to be whether or not there is liability here. There's a lot of things that are going to. Negligence is going to go down to number one. Was it an improper design? Is there a design defect? Is there a manufacturing defect? And then not only that, even if there isn't, were they negligent in bringing these boats out when it's a bad storm, or they saw the storm coming on and they ignored it? That's what they're claiming also.
And even further, were the passengers given negligent advice to not put on their
life
vests?
Well, they didn't say not to put them. They didn't tell them to put them on when it was.
I think they said
did they say?
Yeah, they said it was.
My understanding, they said, you won't need
you
those.
Won't need
them.
them.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's even worse to me.
Yeah,
So
I think that's your golden ticket.
Oh, yeah,
there.
that's the golden ticket, because my understanding is generally they didn't tell them to put them on, but if they flat out said, don't worry about it, I think, I don't know, if I'm getting in the water in a duck boat, I don't care if I'm Michael Phelps. I'm putting one of those life preservers
I mean,
on.
between you and me, telling someone not to wear a life preserver, that's just quack advice right there.
You just said you wouldn't need it.
Oh, that was a good one.
I think the whole thing smells foul. But,
okay, here we go.
How many more puns can I get into this one?
So anyway, the lawsuits are going on the duck boats. We're going to talk about them as we go. That they're rolling in. I wonder if these duck boats are even gonna last.
I wonder what the bill is going to be like for this legal service.
Oh, the bill.
Well, this isn't the first time that the duck boats have been sued either. This isn't the first accident, and this is a tragic, horrible accident because a lot of people died. In fact, 9 members of one family died. Right. So, it's really horrible. If you look at the picture of the duck boat, it has wheels on the bottom, and it's kind of a cool-looking, thing. It was to be in the water and then go up on the land.
Well, one other thing that's dangerous about them, there have been accidents on the land where the duck boat, you can't see in front of you very well. The driver can't, and underneath them, and they've ran over some smaller cars. And that's been an issue, too, with the duck boats on the road. So that's a big issue.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, duck boats go 40 miles an hour on the road, 6 miles an hour in the water, just in case you're wondering. So they're not particularly fast, nor are they nimble, and they were meant to get people up to the beach, fairly low in the ground, flop open the front and get people out. But these newly modified, they're modified now, so they can't do that.
Yeah.
We have a caller, Ron, on the telephone who wants to go off topic if you want to do that.
On what issue?
He wants to talk. He has a great question for you about the whole Trump Manafort thing. So, Ron, go ahead. I know you're on a payphone in Sacramento. Go ahead
Ron.
and ask your question.
Hi. I have a question regarding the sanctimonious Mueller and the whole stupid witch hunt for going on, a year and a half. I'm wondering, this thing is so damn political and hypocritical, it's unbelievable. Could President Trump, what do you think would be the best course of action for him? I know they got to be thinking of firing either Sessions or Rod Rosenstein or the hypocritical donkey Mueller. What do you think they ought to do?
Sure. Well, tell us how you really feel, Ron. And
Thanks, Ron.
We know where you're leading. Ron, we really try to stay non-political on a lot of our issues, just because it's such a wide open ocean, and we don't want to drown in politics. But we do really like the fact that you've expressed your views, and I think all of us are sitting with bated breath, waiting to find out really what is going to happen. I think our country is waiting to find out what's going to happen.
But his question is, could he do that? Is strategically, what would be the up and downside if he said, "You're out, you're out, you're out"?
You know what?
I don't think he'd do
Ron,
it.
let me tell you something interesting, Ron. Off the air, we talk a lot, and a lot of times we don't bring up what we say off the air, and we don't talk politics. But we were kind of laughing off air about, you know what? I could just see Trump, and this is just out. We're just talking on the side. This is not a political issue. Let's see, bucket list, President of the United States. Did that. I'm just going to do what I feel is right, and I don't care what the consequences are. I'm going all out. Do I care what happens? I mean, he cares, but do I care if I get reelected? Hit the bucket list, Who knows? I think Donald Trump is just the kind of guy. I'm going to do it what I think's right. Whether it's politically correct or not, I'm just doing it, and this is what I'm going to do. But I think the caller, Joe, had the best thing. No matter what happens, Ron, I believe maybe Joe is correct that Trump goes, I'll just start pardoning people. And he can pardon people. So anyway, that's an interesting thing, I think, Ron, to answer your question.
He raises a great question, which is what would happen. What are the implications of that?
Well, there's a lot.
I would say at this point right now that there's been a lot of chatter and people very worried about, is he going to fire Rosenstein? Is he going to fire Sessions? And I believe his advice up until this point is, Mr. President, if you did that, you would be creating far more problems you would be avoiding here. And because of that, I doubt that will happen. I think there's no question he has the authority to do it, but if he were to do that, again, the questions and the appearance of impropriety, I believe, would be so high that prevents him from taking that course of action or even entertaining it any further. He's got to ride this out.
And I tell you what, my opinion is he'll never do it before the midterm elections.
Right, and it's practically a Nixonian constitutional crisis. Some people would say, whether it would be or not, it's a separate story. But that's the downside to a strategy like that would be the political.
Well, technically, I don't know if it's going to raise a constitutional crisis because the Justice Department is part of the executive branch. But in recent years, we kind of had a separation between the Justice Department and the executive branch just by policy. And now it's not so clear whether that policy is going to
and that's
continue
because
to
of
hold
Richard
up.
Nixon. Richard Nixon fired his own special prosecutor. Was it Archibald Cox that was supposed to be investigating Watergate?
Right.
So he fired his own guy, and therefore the FBI said, we'd better get ourselves a position of neutrality over here, even though the constitutional duty of the president is to assist in enforcing and implementing the law.
Well,
so
again, I brought it up as a defense. If I'm defense counsel, I'm bringing up politics. That's what this is about. This is not about an issue of Mueller. This is about Mueller trying to get political. If I'm defense lawyer, that's what I'm bringing up in the Manafort case, nonstop.
Is Virginia a Republican typically, or are they Democrats?
Okay, now the
answer.
This is the answer I know, and it said that the pool of jurors that they chose from for this trial in Virginia voted Democratic. I mean, generally they're
Democrats.
They're Democrats. So who knows?
The politics aspect may not work.
But then you have a judge that, don't forget, judges can they're not influence, but he could throw it out if he wants.
Yeah.
He could throw it out on Rule 29.
Thanks for the question, Bob. Yeah. We really did appreciate it.
Ron,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Harvard. Why do we want to talk about Harvard? Because Rodriguez is not here.
Chris is gone again?
My gosh. Chris is gone. So guess what? Harvard is being sued they're claiming discriminatory in their practices of admissions. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Where I went to law school, I had two guys that I used to study law school with, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get better grades than them. I finally found out both of them had been accepted to Harvard. Long story short, one was from Idaho, and so he helped him get in because he was from Idaho. So we're going to talk more about why Harvard's being sued and the admissions process. We'll be right back. I'm Fred Penny, your host of Radio Law Talk.
Rodriguez is gone again.
All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk is strictly for the state or states in which the advertiser is licensed. For more information, go to radiolawtalk.com.
Many women have so many clothes in the closet, but then we go to get dressed and find we have nothing to wear. We've all been there. We all want to be comfortable and fashionable at the same time, and it's difficult to find clothing that makes that task effortless. But at Letty & Company, you can find trendy, comfortable clothing that is affordable, things you'll want to wear every day. Shop with a purpose, online with free shipping. Just go to LettyandCompany.com. LettyandCompany.com.
My name is Frederick.
This is Denise Sturks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at PennyandAssociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
I've got to get my car washed. This dirt, it just won't do. But I don't have no time today. I don't know what I do.
Man, I know this place right down the road. Quick, Quack Car Wash. Hop inside, let's take a ride and watch this cat and shine. Just come and see, I guarantee your ride will steal the show. Come on, Quick Quack Car Wash. Don't drive that dirty car. Quick Quack Car Wash.
Business needs growth to survive, and Accelerate You is in the business of growing your business. Accelerate You gets it. They have sales professionals, real top talent teams. Accelerate You has venture capitalists, and Accelerate You has strategic partners who roll up their sleeves and help you grow your business. It's what they do. They help people in business just like you. In fact, last year, Accelerate You launched 30 successful go-to markets for startup companies. With success like that, you can see why Accelerate You is able to only work with a select group of companies, perhaps yours. If you want to increase revenue for your business, call 916-BETTER-0. That's 916-237-7370. 916-BETTER-0. Come on, grab the phone. Make the call. Accelerate You. 916-BETTER-0. Again, call 916-BETTER-0 for Accelerate You.
The cost of getting rid of garbage is high, and recycling products is lucrative. If you're a business or know of a business that needs an individual compactor or baler, call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. If you already have an industrial compactor, baler, or shredder and need service, don't forget to call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. Northwest Compacting, your full-service industrial compacting and baling company. Read more about them at northwestcompacting.com.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Welcoming the Armed Forces Radio Network to Radio Law Talk at radiolawtalk.com. And now back to your host, Fred Penny.
Good music, Cal.
Thank you.
Good music. That's 60s, isn't it? Or 70s?
70s, yeah. Chicago.
70s.
Yeah.
Who is that? Chicago. That's
Saturday in the
right.
Park. Yeah.
I saw them in concert. They had 40 years of Chicago. It was the best.
I've seen them too before Peter Cetera left. I mean, that was fun stuff.
They had every one of their singers for the 40 years.
Is that right?
They had the first 10 years with the two guys that sang.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know names all that
Peter
well.
Cetera, Robert Lamb.
Yes,
yeah.
and then the second one was just one guy, and then the third one, which the youngest guy.
Right.
And then current.
And sadly, they lost their guitar player, Terry Kath, who was just a great guitar player to a gun accident.
Did any of them go to Harvard?
They went to Chicago. Is what they did, and then they recorded an album at the Caribou Ranch in Colorado. So.
I bet you they're making more money at the time.
Everybody needs a little time away.
That's what I say. Yes,
that's what I heard her say.
Got to say
from each other.
From each other.
You know?
Go ahead, Denise. So the Harvard. Okay, look, let's make this short because we don't want to talk too much about Harvard. That if we do, Rodriguez is going to get more kudos, and we don't want to talk about Rodriguez any more than we have to.
I know. Even lovers need a holiday, so we need time away from.
That's exactly right.
Got to say.
So you know what? I guess Denise, they're claiming that Asian Americans are being discriminated against.
They are, and it's because Harvard has kind of a unique system. They don't just look at the student, but they look at the student's parents. They look at what the occupation of the parents is. They look at what they're trying to do is diversify interests,
right?
Not necessarily diversify by race or by different creed or whatever that it is. And so the person that actually brought the suit against Harvard is an affirmative action group called Students for Fair Admissions. And for some reason, Harvard has an unusually low representation of Asian Americans in its population.
That's what they're claiming. Because actually, I read the statistics later. I didn't think it was that off, but it's okay. I mean, that's what they're claiming.
One of the plaintiffs, though, has had perfect score. He did 3 SAT tests, and he was ranked first in his high school class of 592. And so he's saying, that's enough for me to qualify.
Right. Now, this report we're reading is from the New York Times.
Yes.
And here's something that's very interesting. I thought, here's the statistics about Harvard. This is what's just nuts. It says, and this is from the article of the New York Times dated July 29, 2018, and it says, since then, the stakes of admissions game have grown. About 40,000 students apply each year, and 2,000 are admitted for some 1,600 seats in the freshman class. Now, get this. The chances to be admitted are under 5%. Of the 26,000 application for 2019, ready for this? I don't know how Harvard boy here, Chris Rodriguez, got in. Let me repeat it. Out of the 26,000 application, about 3,500 had perfect SAT math scores. 2,700 had a perfect SAT verbal score, and more than 8,000 had straight A's.
That's amazing.
You think about this from a statistical standpoint. I'm looking at this from the Department of Education. Across the United States, there are approximately 26,000 high schools. I think the number is 26,407. Each one of those high schools has a valedictorian. Each one of those high schools has people that graduated tops in their class with 4.0 GPAs.
Or above.
And the fact of the matter is, if you are in high school and you have a high GPA, what schools do you aspire to want to go to on average? You're going to look at the Ivy League schools, the Harvards, the Princetons. That explains why they have so many applicants. And so for someone to say, I had a 1,600 GPA, I had a 1,600 SAT score, I had a
perfect math.
a perfect GPA coming out. Yeah, you know what? You and a lot of other people did that exceed the number of people we can accept into the school.
Well, exceed by a lot.
Yeah,
You
it's
said
a lot. A whole lot.
40,000 applications. How did Harvard boy, our co-host, ever get in from Winters, California? I wish he was listening. I know
well,
he's gone.
I think that gets into maybe if we start talking about Harvey Weinstein. No.
Oh, no.
You know something, though? The Winters thing could very well have been
I think it is.
part of the thing.
That
It
could
was
have
a
been.
small
That could have
farming
been.
community.
Never mind, but never discount the fact that, Rodriguez had a camera at one time.
Oh,
And I was going to say, what I was going to say is that, Rodriguez had the newspaper behind him.
That's right. I think you're right. I think
Yes.
I think he had pictures.
I mean, you have a camera with a telephoto lens, you can get a lot of stuff done.
I can see him. Mr. Harvard, Mr. Rodriguez, your GPA was 2.0, and you didn't even take the SAT. Well, here's some pictures. Well, you're in.
You're in, yes. Oh,
Congratulations to you and your family.
We don't even mind the fact that you had a 2.8 GPA. You can play on the football team.
There you go, Rodriguez. That's how he got in.
No, your point about him being from Woodland is really important because Harvard divides the country into 20 different geographical dockets or regions, and then they have a subcommittee that has that is the admissions officers that are going through this. And what they're looking for is they're looking for differences in academic interests. They're looking for differences in the occupation of the parents. They're also looking at socioeconomic differences, and they're looking at different viewpoints on issues. So they're really trying to diversify at the core of the person, really, and get a better cross section of people that are going to be stimulating.
The thing is the people that want to get into these schools are really, what they want is something that's not feasible. And by that I mean, it sounds like what they want is a system whereby if you do this, you will get that. You check all the boxes and you get
They want
in.
an objective system
That's
in a
right.
subjective world.
And it can't happen that way. And that's something that we see across all of – look, if this happens, we should be entitled to this. And economics and getting into school and all that, it's too fluid. It's too, like you said, Cal, it's too subjective because there just aren't enough spaces. I'm waiting for the lawsuit to come against school grade on the curve. Okay, with the idea being, look, if we get this score, we should get an A, and everybody's entitled to an A. And how dare you grade on a curve whereby only a certain number will get A's, other people will get B's, and by default, there will be people that get
Todd,
D's.
guess what? Everybody gets a trophy now.
I know.
You get a trophy. Here's your trophy. What did I do? I don't know. Here's your trophy.
One thing for sure, if you want to go to Harvard, what do you have to do? You have to get on the Dean's Interest List. And you know what the Dean's Interest List is?
Pictures? You got to have pictures?
No, it's a donor's interest list.
Donors.
Donors. It has a lot to do with money into the campus.
Hey,
I donate
Todd?
blood.
Todd.
That work?
Todd, what does stoners have to do with it?
It was donors.
Oh, donors.
Your head dean, man.
Dude,
right.
man.
I made sure to apply on April 20th, and I submitted it at 4:20 p.m. Come on, let me in.
Dude.
What's up?
Nice to see you at the place in Nevada with all the dust. What's that thing called?
Where are you going to come from? Well, if you could come out to California and meet me at the co-op, we might be able. Cal will take us through the drive-through.
It's a drive-through, man.
Hey, Cal, did that place burn up, by the way?
No, but the town it is in was threatened by the fire.
So Cal, are you saying there's still a chance that it's up and running, that you can go get the marijuana at the drive-through marijuana place where the fire's
telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you there's a chance.
I would be
still there.
I would be concerned if I were that place and it caught fire, that the first responders would be over there. Wait a second, what? We might not want to put this out. Just breathe.
Well,
just breathe,
that's
okay?
The preferred method of disposal of marijuana rates has been for many years burning. And when I was doing these many years ago, they came up with a system where they injected diesel on the plants, so the smoke wouldn't be so pot smelling. But anyway, it's
Dang,
a weird
what
thing.
a bust.
Yeah.
Funny, that's what they said.
The problem, everybody is so hungry after work today. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things next week because we're running out of time. We didn't get to a lot of the Trump issues about citizenship. We'll talk about that stuff later. We got to thank the Armed Forces Radio Network for joining us. Thank you. It will be aired this Wednesday twice. It'll be aired at 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time and 1 to 4 a.m. on Eastern Time. And the reason they do that is we can be heard
all over the world.
So thank you,
at
Armed
a time
Forces
when
Radio
people are
Network.
awake.
Yep, and we'll take your questions. You got
That's exactly
questions
right.
on the Armed Forces
Cal,
Network?
thanks for all you do. We appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
Rodriguez, we will have Rodriguez next week. Todd will be gone. Thank you for listening to us at Radio Law Talk on behalf of myself and my co-host and our producer. Thank you.
And we're glad you could be with us on Radio Law Talk. And again, we invite you to join us next week at this very same time. And until then, farewell.
You're listening to RadioLawTalk.com, a copyrighted presentation of Radio Law Talk Incorporated.
So here's a great question. How much would you save if you joined Medi-Share for your healthcare program? The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. You might save more. Tammy left a major company and needed a new way ahead for her family. She'd heard about the savings with Medi-Share, but was wondering about the network of providers.
Once we started the program, I have not had to switch one doctor for myself or for my kids. So all the doctors that we were previously with were all in Medi-Share.
And she says the process has been fantastic.
I got off the phone and I was like, that's what it should be like. It was a pleasurable experience. An encouraging experience at that.
Medi-Share might be just the thing you're looking for your family, your budget. Use the savings for other things. Why not get your questions answered? Find out how much you can save. You can call right now. 833-39-BIBLE. That's 833-39-BIBLE. 833-39-BIBLE.